Hello, everyone. I'm NewsNOW from Fox host Pilar Arias, currently joined by former Housing and Urban Development Secretary Julian Castro. Secretary, thank you so much for taking time to be interviewed by us today.
Yeah, great to be with you.
So we've got the first presidential debate tonight versus President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. I wanted to ask you, as somebody who was a presidential candidate yourself, even earlier this year, it wasn't until January when you dropped out, why support Joe Biden?
Well, Joe Biden is the candidate that actually has a plan to get us past this pandemic, to make sure that people get back to work, that small businesses get back up and running, and actually has a track record of doing it. You know, when he and President Obama took office in early 2009, our country was losing 700,000 jobs a month. And then we went on the longest positive job growth streak in our nation's history, over 70 months of positive job growth. So he's done this before. He has a strong track record of making sure that families do well, people get back to work, and I think people are going to hear that tonight.
Since we're talking about jobs, how do you think President Trump has reacted to the coronavirus pandemic?
Just look around the world. There's no country that is doing worse than the United States when it comes to dealing with this coronavirus. And unfortunately, you know, it didn't have to be this way. We have more than 200,000 Americans who have died because of this. That's 20% of the people around the world who have died from the coronavirus, even though we're much less than that in terms of our overall world population. That's because Donald Trump considered it a hoax. He didn't act quickly. He's paid more attention to politics versus public health and the scientists. And all of us are paying the price for that. Small business owners, workers, families everywhere, children who are having to try and learn virtually right now, and you know their education is getting scrambled. Joe Biden actually has a plan to get us past this pandemic, to build back better, and he has a strong track record of helping the country through economic hard times into economic prosperity.
There's been certain words that we've heard from the president: hoax, fake news. So I feel like that's a perfect segue to my next question. President Trump's response to the New York Times investigation in terms to his tax returns. What are your thoughts on that?
What I think about are all of those teachers out there, like my children's teachers right now, but the teachers there in Orlando that are scrambling, doing their best to make sure that children learn in this environment, or all those nurses who are on the front lines treating people with the coronavirus, all of those fast food workers, those grocery store workers, hardworking Americans, how much they pay in taxes. And then we have a president who's a billionaire who paid no taxes over the last 15 years. He paid no taxes 10 times, and 2 years he paid $750 only when he was president. You know, to me, it's just another example of Donald Trump serving himself instead of serving the people that he's supposed to represent.
Before speaking with you, I did a little bit of research as to how you're doing a lot of work on the front of getting the Hispanic vote, getting the voices heard. Why do you think it's so important for Latinos to be voting in this election?
Look, today, fully 25%, a quarter of people under the age of 18, young people in our country, are Latinas or Latinos. That means that the destiny of our country is intertwined with the destiny of the Latino community like never before. And places like Orlando, they are the future. That means that when it comes to healthcare, for instance, we actually need a president who understands that a lot of folks in the Latino community have pre-existing conditions like diabetes. My own grandmother passed away at the age of 82 from complications related to diabetes, have asthma, have other things. More than 4 million Latinos were able to get health care for the first time because of the Affordable Care Act, because of the work of Joe Biden and Barack Obama. On the other hand, you have Donald Trump, who right now is in the Supreme Court trying to take all of that away. And so the choice couldn't be clearer. You know, for Latinos, we want a president in Joe Biden who will make sure that everybody has health care opportunity, that people are put back to work, and also that we invest in educational opportunity for everybody so that people can reach their dreams.
As we are doing this interview, we are just 35 days away from November 3rd. The election, it is creeping up on us extremely quickly. Speaking of rushing, possibly, we've heard President Trump's pick for the Supreme Court, Amy Coney Barrett. The confirmation hearings begin October 12th. What are your thoughts on this whole process? Is it being rushed?
This is unprecedented. There has never been in our nation's history somebody appointed to the Supreme Court this close to an election. We're less than 40 days now away from the election, and poll after poll shows that the vast majority of Americans actually want the person who was elected on November 3rd to be the one who appoints the next Supreme Court justice. Here are the stakes. 1 week after the election, on November 10th, the Supreme Court is going to hear a challenge to the Affordable Care Act. If this if this nominee is appointed, that means that the Affordable Care Act will likely be overturned, because she has already said before that she disagreed with a ruling a few years ago that upheld it as constitutional. She would strike it down. That means tens of millions of people who have been able to get health care are going to lose their health care. Those are the stakes. And, so I think it's wrong for Mitch McConnell and for Donald Trump to try and rush this past the American people.
Secretary Castro, anything else you'd like to add today?
So I hope that that people will register to vote if they haven't registered to vote, and get out and vote between now and November 3rd, when early voting starts, and on Election Day if they haven't voted by then. This is too important an election to sit on the sidelines. We need everybody to go and make their voice heard.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. Now part of the Biden campaign. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.